Welcome to the show, folks. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that's both fascinating and kinda messed up. The world of snitches. We've all heard the phrase, snitches get stitches, right? It's like this unspoken rule, this code, especially in certain circles. But the reality is, the world of snitching is way more complex than that. We're talking about a whole spectrum of characters, from your classic neighborhood tattletale to high-level informants risking it all to bring down criminal empires. Let's start with the OG snitch, the informant. This is your guy on the inside, feeding info to the cops, maybe for a reduced sentence, maybe for some cash, maybe just to settle a score. Think about the drug game, right? You got your low-level dealers, your enforcers, but somewhere up the chain, there's often a dude or even a whole crew feeding intel to the feds. It's a dangerous game, man. These guys are walking a tightrope, risking their lives to play both sides.
Now, let's jump to the corporate world. We're talking whistleblowers, the brave souls who risk their careers, their reputations, to expose shady shit going down in big companies. Think Enron, think WorldCom, think all those massive scandals that rocked the financial world. These whistleblowers, they're like the canaries in the coal mine, man. They see the danger, the corruption, and they speak out, even when it means putting themselves in the crosshairs.
Yeah, it's a tough gig, no doubt. But without these truth-tellers, who knows what kind of messes would go unchecked?
We've all encountered a tattletale in our lives, right? Those kids in school who would run to the teacher for every little thing. He's chewing gum. She's passing notes.
Look, sometimes kids are just trying to avoid getting in trouble themselves, but let's be real, nobody likes a tattletale. It's all about finding that balance, man. Knowing when to speak up about something serious versus when to let the small stuff slide.
Now we're getting into some real cloak and dagger stuff. The mole. This is your corporate spy, your double agent, planted inside a company to steal secrets, gather intel, get ahead. Think Silicon Valley, man. Cutthroat competition, companies desperate for an edge. You got your moles leaking proprietary code, confidential marketing plans, all that juicy stuff. It's a high-stakes game, and these moles, they gotta be smart, resourceful, and damn good at blending in.
Double agents, man. These are the guys who live in the shadows, playing both sides, always one step ahead. Think Cold War espionage, James Bond shit. You got your agent working for one country, secretly loyal to another, feeding misinformation, manipulating events from the inside. It's a dangerous game, a mental chess match, and one wrong move could have global consequences. These are some of the most fascinating and terrifying snitches out there.
Let's talk about confidential informants, the CIs. These are the folks embedded deep within criminal organizations, risking their necks to provide intel to law enforcement. We're talking drug cartels, organized crime, terrorist groups. These CIs, they're living on the edge, man. They have to gain the trust of dangerous people, all while secretly working to bring them down. It's a high-pressure, high-risk game, and it takes a certain kind of person to be a CI.
Leakers, man. They're the ones who expose secrets, often to the media, shining a light on corruption, wrongdoing, stuff the powers that be don't want you to know. Think Edward Snowden, Chelsea Manning, Julian Assange. These are the folks who risk everything to bring information to light, even if it means facing serious consequences. They're a vital part of a free society, even if their methods are sometimes controversial.
Leaked documents, government secrets, censorship. We've all encountered a backstabber at some point, right? That coworker who throws you under the bus to get ahead, who gossips and spreads rumors to undermine you. It's a shitty feeling, man, to be betrayed by someone you thought you could trust. The workplace can be a cutthroat environment, but there's a special place in hell for backstabbers. Office politics, workplace drama, gossiping coworkers. In the criminal underworld, there's no greater sin than being a rat. These are the guys who break the code of silence, the omerta, to save their own skin. Think mafia informants, gang members turning state's evidence. It's the ultimate betrayal, and it often comes with a hefty price tag. These rats, they might get to walk free, but they'll always be looking over their shoulder. Organized crime, Witness Protection Program, Mafia Informant. Chapter 10. Narcs, man. The undercover cops who infiltrate drug operations, posing as dealers, buyers, whatever it takes to bring down the bad guys. It's dangerous work, requiring incredible acting skills, nerves of steel, and a tolerance for risk that most of us can't even fathom. These are the guys on the front lines of the war on drugs, putting their lives on the line every day. Chapter 11. Squealers, man. They're the ones who crack under pressure, spilling their guts to avoid jail time, a beatdown, whatever it is they're afraid of. It's not always pretty, but sometimes a squealer's information can be the key to cracking a case, bringing down a bigger fish. It's a messy business, this whole snitching game. Chapter 12. Stool pigeon. It's an old school term, but it perfectly captures the essence of the snitch. Someone who betrays their own for personal gain. These are the guys who'll sell out their friends, their family, anyone to save themselves. They're the ultimate opportunists, and they're often despised by both sides of the law. Chapter 13. Gossips, the rumor mill operators. Gossips, man. They might not be criminals, but they can do some serious damage with their words. They thrive on drama, spreading rumors, secrets, and half-truths like wildfire. It's all fun and games until someone gets hurt, right? But gossips, they don't care. They're addicted to the thrill of the story, the power of knowing something others don't. Chapter 14. Turncoats, switching sides in the game. Turncoats, man. These are the folks who switch sides, often betraying their former allies in the process. Think Benedict Arnold, Judas Iscariot, those names etched in history as the ultimate traitors. It's one thing to disagree with your side, but to actively work against them, to betray the trust that was placed in you, that's a whole other level of messed up. Chapter 15. Canaries, singing under duress. Canaries, man. They're the ones who sing like birds when the pressure's on. They might try to hold out at first, but eventually they crack, spilling their guts to avoid the consequences. It's not always pretty, but hey, information is power, right? And sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to get it. Chapter 16. Tipsters Anonymous Calls for Justice. Tipsters, man. They're the anonymous voices on the other end of the line, providing crucial information to the authorities. Think Crime Stoppers, those late-night calls that lead to arrests, convictions, sometimes even saving lives. These tipsters, they might not be looking for recognition, but they're playing a vital role in keeping our communities safe. Insiders, man. They're the ones with access to the inner workings, the behind-the-scenes information that most people never get to see. They might be motivated by money, revenge, or a sense of justice, but whatever their reasons, their information can be invaluable. They're the ones who can expose corruption, blow the whistle on wrongdoing, and change the course of history. Plants, man. These are the folks who are placed within organizations, often undercover to gather information, disrupt operations, or influence events. Think spies, informants, even journalists going undercover to expose wrongdoing. It's a risky game requiring incredible skill and dedication, but the rewards can be high. These plants, they're the ultimate insiders, operating in a world of secrets and deception. Chapter 19. Traitors, man. It's a heavy word, loaded with emotion, and it's reserved for those who betray their country, their cause, their people. Think Benedict Arnold, Judas Iscariot, those names etched in history as the ultimate betrayers. It's one thing to disagree with your side, but to actively work against them, to betray the trust that was placed in you, that's a whole other level of messed up. Chapter 20. Watchdogs, man. These are the folks who keep an eye on the powerful, holding them accountable for their actions. Think journalists, activists, whistleblowers, anyone who speaks truth to power, even when it's uncomfortable. They're the ones who shine a light on corruption, expose wrongdoing, and fight for transparency. They might not always be popular, but they play a vital role in a functioning democracy. So there you have it, folks. A crash course in the world of snitches. From the streets to the boardroom, from the shadows of espionage to the halls of government, snitching takes many forms. It's a complex issue, man, with no easy answers. Each type of snitch operates under different motivations and contexts, often impacting their social standing and relationships. Remember, while snitching can sometimes be necessary to prevent crime and protect lives, it should be done with caution and a clear understanding of the potential consequences.